And my oh my, a banger of a story and a discussion point for all of you Call of Duty fans watching. Make sure to leave your guesses down below. Pete, we were hit with something yesterday I really did not see coming. We were actually both in the office when Doc first tweeted out he was in Los Angeles this past weekend, NDA'd out of his mind, and streams resumes tomorrow for the Champions Club. Of course, I had to respond to that, and I actually just said, of course. And then later that day, he does respond to us and says, expect a jersey in the mail in the next couple of weeks. Don't want to argue about it either. To which you and me started geeking as we usually do, because we've talked about this topic a lot in the past. And with Dr. Disrespect actually going to send us a jersey in the next few weeks, we find out what his team or what his thing in LA will be. We will either know in 3 weeks or we won't know exactly what it is, and let the speculation begin what it could be. If you guys missed out a few months back, we talked about San Diego Speed. Doc wants to be an owner or have some sort of share in a Call of Duty lineup, and so now we are talking about exactly what this could be. I have a very simple answer. I was thinking either...
Yeah, let's start with your answer, then we'll go with my more conspiracy theory answer.
Because your theory really, really interests me. And again, you guys, let us know down below what this means, because we will have a Doc jersey, and we will seemingly know in the next month or so what this will be. Top of mind, I thought Optic. I don't know if Big Hex was in LA this past weekend, though. I thought LA Thieves. But would that really be a partnership that either side would want? And even have Doc on Twitter saying that he had drove by the Cash App compound, didn't even want to stop by. So you kind of throw those ones out the window. And then, of course, I would say maybe the more obvious choice of endless options is he makes his own team. But to your theory, which I really do enjoy, maybe there's a currently existing team in the Call of Duty League that wants to bring Doc in.
Yeah. So let's talk a second
This theory is... I like it.
Let's talk a second about the disaster that is the LA Guerrillas. These poor guys got sold a team where they had to share their city already. At least last season, it was like the kind of fake Optic. It was LA Optic. And everyone,
so they had a chance.
They had a chance. This season, they've been gutted. Like, their roster's just been done a 180. And B, they're now competing in the same market as LA Thieves.
As soon to be the most popular brands.
They were already pulling in like some of the worst merch sales, some of the worst event sales. Like, they were not doing great just competing against fake Optic. So now you have this team that's in this $25 million plus slot that just is struggling to survive against one of the biggest names in esports. And then here comes Doc. Here comes little Doc just sneaking his way up from San Diego. And Doc's like, you know what? California has another huge city that I happen to live in that happens to have, a good 5-6 million residents that would incredibly support having their own CDL team. What if I took the poor, underperforming LA Guerrillas and I threw them in the back of the Lambo and we just drove them down to San Diego, and next season they're the San Diego Speed?
I don't like this commentary. In case you guys are missing the point here, pretty much it brings up the old Optic to the Huntsman, the rebrand that was allowed, the swapping that was allowed there, and the shindig that went down. Pretty much you have LA Guerrillas who were pretty, one might say, screwed over from the beginning, right? You compete with OGLA.
They were in a tough spot.
And then a more popular brand comes in. Of course, Optic, Chicago will do just fine. But I mean the fake Optic, when they were in LA, you had some sort of chance. Then LA Thieves replaces them, and LA Guerrillas is still in the same city. It's a tough role to actually fulfill. It's a tough race to try and compete in. And so he's saying that Doc comes in, he becomes a part of LA Guerrillas, and maybe they also allow a rebrand, just like they did for Chicago Huntsman. They allow a better established name to take over an existing Call of Duty brand and let Doc kind of shift the LA Guerrillas into what might be the San Diego Speed, and that way there is no competing teams in LA. Would Call of Duty League prefer that over what is currently existing?
And to be fair, they didn't just allow it for NRG. Technically, LA Optic is now LA Thieves, and all they did was allow the Huntsman to transfer over the Optic brand to so they allowed 2 major rebrands after saying they were going to be against it from the start.
Yeah.
And now, yes, Doc is in San Diego. It's a huge city, giant population. They love their esports there. They've got it's where like a lot of developers live. It's just a great city for that. And the LA Guerrillas are sitting there with their nothing market share of LA, competing against one of the biggest names that they're never going to really get a leg up on, and Doc and probably an investment group behind Doc, if he is doing this, can offer them, hey, why don't you let us purchase a controlling interest in the Gorillas? We move them down to San Diego. They're the San Diego Speed. All of a sudden, your biggest problem is fixed. You're not competing against the biggest name in esports in a city that already has a million things to do in terms of entertainment value.
Yeah, and we see major teams, major league teams change cities all the time. So it's not too surprising that Call of Duty League at one point or another is going to have to deal with teams wanting to change their locations.
Yeah, it was actually more insane that they launched a 12-league team with 2 teams in the same city.
And rumors at first were going to be 3 in LA.
Yeah, I remember. That was going to be insane if it was going to be FaZe getting in there as well. Like, that was going to be, like, that still is one of the strangest moves that the league has done. And this kind of fixes what was maybe an out-of-the-gate blunder they didn't have to make.
And you would think, the final question, if that is somehow, if your crazy theory does come to fruition, you would think that Doc wants his name on it, right? He would not want to be a co-owner in the LA Gorillas like a Vicstar is.
No, it would be a rebrand.
Ravens.
And when you move cities, you almost always rebrand in a league like that. Not necessarily in a sports league, but in esports, when you move that drastically, you generally do a rebrand. And yeah, it would be something like the San Diego Speed. It would be something Doc related, you would have to imagine.
Yeah, especially because I think it's beneficial both ways, and probably if that was the case, his controlling interest would be far bigger than Vicstar's is in Rogue and Royal Ravens.
You would imagine, yeah.
Like, they're not going to rebrand it London Vicstar's. It's just not a thing. Cause
Actually, they may as well at this point. Getting rid of Scraps and Wuskin, might as well.
I mean, well, yeah, this get crazy debate for another time, but either way, certainly is possible. I think the options on the table are Optic, LA Thieves, kind of maybe throw those out, maybe a rebranding of a currently existing Call of Duty team, or maybe a completely new one when they do expand in 2022. So you think San Diego Speed 2022 take over LA Gorillas is your ultimate theory?
I think if it's going to happen, it's going to be 2022, and it would be San Diego snaking the spot from LA Gorillas. The only way it doesn't happen like that, if there is going to be a team in San Diego, is if they just do an overall league expansion and push it to, say, 16 teams, which would be the next natural step.
To which we'll probably see San Diego Speed, and then we'll see Beast Gaming come in as well.
And we'd see San Diego Speed, we'd see Beast Gaming, maybe 1,000 Beasts, the merger is back.
Nate Shot's kid, he'll come in eventually.
He'll come in. But we would have, with 16 teams, we would have 4x4 regionals, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You would have your division rivals in your 4-man divisions, which would be pretty sick.
We will see exactly what Doc's plans are. We should know hopefully within a month when the jersey arrives here. We'll be talking to all of you guys again. What do you think Doc's project is, and how is it going to work out? We'll catch you guys back here in the next one.